Power After 50, tapping into new potential and possibilities. The panelists are Dr. Helena Ndume, head of the ophthalmology department at Windhoek Central Hospital in Namibia, is internationally renowned for her humanitarian work, which includes free sight-restoring surgeries for 35,000 Namibians. Nonkululeko Gobodo is the CEO of Awaken Global and the first Black African woman to qualify as a chartered accountant in South Africa. She's a founder member of Gobodo Inc., a medium-sized Black accounting firm which she established in 1996 with a group of other partners. Louisa Mojela, co-founder Wiphold. In 1994, she helped co-found the Women Investment Portfolio Holdings, or Wiphold, in a democratic South Africa, creating an investment vehicle to empower women. Wiphold was the first woman-owned and led company to be listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange.
Maureen Williams-Mtoninchi, Director of Operations McDonald's SA, is also the chairperson of the Women's Leadership Network of McDonald's SA. She's a dynamic and accomplished business leader with over 30 years' experience in senior management roles. As Operations Director, Maureen leads 95 restaurants with a headcount of over 5,000 people, with 64% being women. And the moderator is Renuka Methil, Managing Editor of Forbes Woman Africa.
Thank you, Forbes, for this honor of being one of your over 50 inspirational women in Africa. This is a golden period for me. When I look at my life, I can divide it into 3 stages: learning, leadership, and legacy. While I'm still learning and leading, I'm really focused today on living a lasting legacy. I'm able to be more fearless, I'm more experienced, and I can give more. The world, more than ever before, needs Africa's perspectives in tackling the very difficult challenges that the world faces: economic crisis, poverty, climate. You need Africa's perspectives for things to change. But my most important example is that my life journey really encourages other young people and women and girls globally, particularly in Africa, that you can seek to be anything you want to be in life. You can do whatever you want to do in life. Let me just say a big thank you again to Forbes for honoring me and other female leaders who are over 50 in this way. Happy International Women's Day. Thank you.
It's wonderful to feel the energy in the room, and I was just backstage with these wonderful women, and the energy backstage was also phenomenal. There were some great comments there. We were complimenting each other. There were even comments about, you look sexy, you don't look 62, so I think that's the stage we are at. And I would like to say that I feel perfectly well placed to talk about women achieving over the age of 50, because I just turned 50 in October. So I'm perfectly well placed. So for the Feb-March issue of Forbes Africa, we ran for the very first time our very first compilation of 50 women over the age of 50. And we came up with a wonderful list of powerhouses from across Africa. And we've got 3 of them here. Maureen joins us from the corporate world, and she's got some extremely interesting insights into women, what women can do over the age of 50. But I must say that this is a category that does not follow the rule book anymore. They're not on anybody else's timetable. They run their own timetable. I'm correct? And they think out of the box. So what is it like? What does it mean to be over the age of 50 and still create the kind of lasting impact that will lead to nation building and the advancement of women and empowerment and economic empowerment? I would really, this is a panel, again, we have very little time. They need no introduction. These are some great stalwarts sitting here. Let me start with Louisa Mujela. Louisa, you started Wippold in a democratic South Africa that led to the economic empowerment of women. You financially included them. You've been a part of the country's nation building from the very beginning. And in your, just as recently as 2018, in your 50s, you started yet another business, and that too, a cannabis company in Lesotho. You got a new degree. How do you do it?
Thank you, Renuka, and let me say Happy International Women's Day to all the women in the room. You are all looking so beautiful. I think for me, and I would imagine it goes to all these women on the panel, that age is but a number. Yes, we started Wippold 29 years ago, and it is still going, and it is still strong. And in my later years, when I realized that there was an opportunity, or there is an opportunity in cannabis, I started a cannabis operation in Lesotho, which was doing fantastically well. We even went to the extent of listing on NASDAQ
Yes.
in New York. But like everything else in business, there's always the downside, the positive side, and the downside. Unfortunately, things did not go well as we did when we started and listing. And fast forward, I had to liquidate the company, but I restarted it again. So second time restarting the business, and it is doing fantastically well. But those are the lessons that we learn in business, so long as you have the strong resolve that failure is not an option.
Sure. Wow. So let me move from South Africa to Namibia. The award-winning ophthalmologist that I have here from Namibia. She has done 40,000 free eye surgeries in rural settings, not just in Namibia, in the Congo, in other African countries, even Vietnam. She trained in India, and 40,000 eye surgeries. That's a real contribution to nation building, changing lives. Can you take us through a little bit, in brief, about that, about your journey?
Thank you so much, Renuka. I have to go and change other people's lives because mine was changed. As a young girl in the refugee camps of Zambia and Angola, when we were fighting for the liberation and independence of our country, in the SWAPO camps, we were told, because we were saying that we want the guns to go and fight the Boers, but we were told that, no, you have to go to school and study. Independent Namibia will need professionals. I wanted to become a fashion designer. Medicine was my second choice. But I was told that independent Namibia will have no time for fashion designer. We need doctors. So we were brought up not to answer back to the elders, and I did exactly that. I ended up going to Germany to do medicine. After medicine, I didn't know what I'm going to do if I go home, coming from high tech, going to low tech. So that's why I ended up in India to do my 8-month practicals there. And that's where I saw how people were doing this eye camp. My life was changed. I have to change other people's life. You cannot call yourself a developed country if you still have people going blind because of cataract, a surgery that you can do in 15 minutes. There's no money in this world that can pay the happiness for someone who was once blind. And the following day after surgery, when you take off that iPad, and they said, "Doctor, my daughter, I can see."
Wow. So that's true vision.
There's
Maureen?
no money in that which can pay for that. When a mother who gave birth, she couldn't see her baby. She could only see the baby 6 months after the operation, after we did the surgery. No money can pay for that happiness. Or my old person who said, "Doctor, I can see. Now I am going to see my pension money." Or, "Doctor, I am now going to work on the field and make more food for my family." These are the things that drive us to go and change
Absolutely
people's life.
incredible.
You can
anecdotes
get
of-
so many awards, but what change have you brought
True.
from where you come from?
I must come to you, Maureen. If you go by numbers, she runs 100 restaurants, McDonald's restaurants across South Africa, manages 5,000 people. Maureen, that's incredible. What is your day like? Do you get to sleep? Do you go to the gym? How do you do this? And most of your work is actually empowering these franchisees and these owners and coaching them and mentoring them. You must have a family life for sure. How do you do it?
Thank you very much, Renuka. A happy and blessed International Women's Day to all our women and the men that support women. You know, Renuka, running 100 restaurants, even more than that, is simple when you work through your people. I believe that every person that works for us, and even for other organizations, they come because it is a purposeful function to wake up in the morning and to go and do something to provide for your family, for your village, or for whatever reason, but there's a purposeful reason to wake up and to go and sell your skills to get paid for that. And so for me, it's easier to do that because I am very blessed to work in an organization that believes in training people, coaching people, empowering people. So when you work through them, these beautiful, passionate, and energetic people, it becomes easier. But giving feedback and collaborating with them, and really creating an environment where they're comfortable, where you actually recognize them and give them an opportunity to rise. They execute better, they bring in, the money, they make the customers to have shiny eyes. And with the result, I become a better leader. So I believe that people are the people that you must empower and allow to be an environment where they can rise so that you can benefit and they can benefit.
Last but not the least, we've got the personality here sitting in the middle. She's got an extensive CV, but in one sentence, if I can say, she was South Africa's first female black chartered accountant in 1987. And she founded S&G Grant Thornton, one of the biggest auditing firms in South Africa. She's just come up with a new autobiography, and she continues. I mean, she's the CEO of Awaken Global. There's just more coming. The best is still yet to come. And I know in a recent interview you told us that you should not let fear stop you. And there's this general perception that once you're over 50, there's a mental and physical decline. But again, you need to override that fear. So fear has definitely not stopped your dream.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much. I think my motto is that once you climb a mountain, there's the next one to climb. And there's no age where you can say, I've now climbed enough mountains. My mother was my mentor
You know, they were just, both my parents were such mentors. She managed her small business from her bedroom later on until she was 88. So there's no retirement. You know, especially as women, I have a burden right now to say that we cannot leave our children with this mess of gender inequality, race inequality. I just want to dedicate my life to contributing to that now. Even if I achieve a small shift, we cannot in 2023 be still talking about gender inequality when women in this room, full, who are capable, you know, but opportunities are not properly open for them. So I'm just saying we need to push for that end.
Definitely need to. Unfortunately, you know, because this has been such an action-packed day, and we've got so many exciting speakers coming up, the fact that the ABN team group has done such a remarkable event, I always believe that teamwork makes the dream work, and that's what all of you do as well in your respective positions. But I just want to come back to each one of you about the question of legacy building, and that's a very important point. So very briefly, Doctor, I know you told me that, you know, in life, once you've crossed 50, you've actually gone through 2 universities. One is the academic university and one is a life university. So just in one sentence, if you could tell me.
Yeah, when you have gone academic, I think it's easy, but the life university is very tough. You have to listen to the elders. And one thing is that when we also advise you, because we have gone through it, with all these wrinkles on our faces, these are rivers of wisdom. So listen to us. We have also listened to other rivers of wisdom. Thank you.
Nonku, you mentioned legacy building. What's your lasting impact?
Yes. You know, when we built Sizanzalo Gobodo, there were easy ways. You know, we could have just merged with a big accounting firm. They've got all the systems that we were trying to develop. But I wanted to make sure that I can prove to everyone that as a black woman, there is nothing I cannot do. And a black child, there's nothing that they cannot do. And so we worked very hard through that measure, which was very hard, so that we could leave a legacy for others. I was the first black woman to qualify as a chartered accountant. Today, I feel so great when I'm in a room full of black women chartered accountant. That's legacy.
Wow, fantastic. Louisa, still continuing on your impactful journey, what's impact to you? What's your legacy going to be, in addition to everything?
You'll remember that when we started WePolled, we were the first black-owned women group. And for that, it meant that we carried on our shoulders the burden on making sure that we do not fail. Because if we had failed, then we would have failed the entire black women in South Africa. So it was important that WePolled succeeds. And as we were succeeding, it was equally important that we create an enabling environment for the younger ones, those who were coming behind us, because those who were ahead of us, they also allowed us, you know, to stand on their broad shoulders. So it was very important.
Wow. Maureen, you are, you know, training people, you're mentoring people, so there's a big generation that's coming that you've actually empowered in your capacity at McDonald's. So just in one sentence, your lasting impact.
For me, it's about legacy building. And legacy building for me is about my unique responsibility to authentically create platforms, structures, policies for the young generation to be able to unleash their powerful energy, purpose, and to impact the generations of South Africa. We need that in this country.
Wow. Energy, impact, purpose. Surely the best is not behind you, the best is yet to come. I wanted to add that in our first ever 50 over 50 list, the senior most change maker on that list was 98. And she's still continuing. So there's more years left. Let's continue to create that change. Thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you so much.